Have you ever considered how deeply a region's way of making a living can shape its entire identity and even its destiny? Before the American Civil War, two distinct economic systems emerged, leading to vastly different societies within the United States. The Northern and Southern economies differed primarily in their foundational structures and labor systems, with the North embracing industrialization and diversified agriculture, while the South remained predominantly agrarian and heavily reliant on the forced labor of enslaved people for its staple crop, cotton. This fundamental divergence created separate paths for development and prosperity. In the North, the burgeoning Industrial Revolution fueled a rapid expansion of manufacturing, particularly in textiles, machinery, and iron production. Cities became centers of commerce and innovation, attracting a diverse immigrant workforce who labored for wages. Northern agriculture, though still important, was varied, focusing on grains, fruits, and dairy products, often produced on smaller family farms. Significant investments in infrastructure like canals, turnpikes, and railroads connected these growing industrial centers and agricultural producers, facilitating trade and rapid economic growth. The concept of free labor, where individuals could freely sell their labor for wages, was central to this economic model. Conversely, the Southern economy was largely defined by a plantation system focused on staple crops, with cotton becoming King Cotton after the invention of the cotton gin. This system required vast tracts of land and an enormous unpaid labor force of enslaved African Americans. While some small farms existed, the economic power resided with large plantations that produced raw materials for export, primarily to Great Britain and northern textile mills. Industrial development in the South was minimal, and its transportation infrastructure, while present, was less dense and often designed to move goods from plantations to coastal ports rather than connecting internal markets. The economic structure of the South was deeply intertwined with and dependent upon the institution of slavery. Understanding these economic models helps us trace how distinct interests emerged in political debates regarding tariffs, westward expansion, and the future of slavery. For instance, Northern industrialists favored protective tariffs to shield their growing industries from foreign competition, while Southern planters opposed them because tariffs increased the cost of imported goods they consumed and risked retaliatory tariffs on their exported cotton. It is fascinating to note that while the North saw the emergence of a powerful wage-based economy, creating a large middle class, the South developed an entrenched oligarchy of wealthy planters who held disproportionate political and economic power. The sheer scale of cotton production in the South, nearly 5 million bales annually by 1860, made it the economic engine of the world, paradoxically powered by human bondage. This stark contrast fostered not just economic competition, but fundamentally different social and moral landscapes. Ultimately, the economic disparities between the North and South were not simply matters of different ways to earn a living. They represented two fundamentally incompatible visions for the nation's future. One vision championed industrial progress, diverse labor, and a dynamic market economy. The other upheld an agrarian society built on racial hierarchy and forced labor. This deep economic chasm intensified political divisions, creating an unsustainable tension that ultimately led to war as the nation grappled with its identity and destiny.